We're going to start off talking about the first quarter GDP report that we got that came in at minus 0.3%. Now, this is measuring the economic growth rate year over year after inflation. And we said in our last video that this was likely to be negative, but don't go worried about recession just because you see that. Very similar to the first and second quarters of 2022, which when GDP came out for those quarters, they were negative as well, but that was not called a recession. And we're going to show you why today, because what we care most about is consumer spending and business investment to drive the economy. When consumers are spending money, people maintain their jobs, there's good jobs growth, but sometimes you get negative GDP when you get a big adjustment because of trade. In early 22, that happened. We here in the US bought a lot more from other countries. That's how much we imported than what they bought of us, exported. That comes off GDP, so it's a negative number. So early 22, that was not a recession, and we don't think this first quarter will be either. And here's why. The GDP number was minus 0.3%, but there is a category of GDP called real final sales to private domestic purchasers. That is a mouthful. Here's what you need to know. This is consumer spending and business investment. It takes away trade, takes away government spending. That came in at 3% year over year growth. That is fantastic. And you can see that's right there in line with where that growth has averaged over the last several years. So this is very positive. This, by the way, backs up what we've heard from companies where we saw strong profit growth. Companies had good outlooks, most of them across the board. And so first quarter GDP growth for consumer spending and business investment at 3%, that is the key takeaway from the first quarter GDP report.